At their peak, the Medici Bank had branches in London, Bruges, Geneva, Lyon, Milan, Venice, Rome, and Florence. It financed the papacy, bankrolled English and French kings, and held enough debt over European monarchs that starting a war without Medici approval was, practically speaking, difficult. They funded the Sistine Chapel. They funded Brunelleschi's Dome. They funded Botticelli, Michelangelo, and Leonardo da Vinci. They ran the most powerful financial institution in the Western world for nearly 100 years. Then mismanagement, overreach, and one catastrophically bad loan brought it all down. This is the story of the Medici Bank, and what happens when the people who hold everyone else's debt run out of money themselves. The Medici Bank was founded in 1397 by Giovanni di Bicci de' Medici, not the most famous Medici, but arguably the most important. Giovanni was methodical, cautious, and understood something that many of his competitors did not. The real money in medieval Europe was not in trade. It was in the church. The papacy needed to move enormous sums across the continent, tithes collected in England, payments sent to Rome, financing for crusades and construction. Giovanni positioned the Medici as the papal bankers of choice. By the time he died in 1428, the bank was the most profitable institution in Europe. If you find the Medici compelling, a private family running the finances of an entire civilization, there's a link in the description to the channel. Everything here follows the same thread: the people behind the money and what happened when it ran out. His son Cosimo inherited the business and the instinct. Under Cosimo, the bank expanded to 8 branches across the continent. He also began doing something his father had been more cautious about, using the bank's wealth to accumulate political power in Florence. By the mid-1400s, the Medici didn't run Florence officially. They just ran everything that mattered. The Medici didn't just accumulate wealth, they invented new ways to move it. The Catholic Church officially prohibited charging interest on loans, which presented a practical problem for anyone wanting to run a bank. The Medici solution was the letter of credit, a document that allowed money to be deposited in one city and withdrawn in another, with the exchange rate difference serving as a discrete form of interest that technically wasn't interest. They also developed what we would now recognize as a holding company structure, a central partnership in Florence that held stakes in semi-independent branches across Europe. If a branch failed, it couldn't take the whole network down with it. These weren't just accounting tricks, they were genuine financial innovations that formed the foundation of modern international banking. The Medici invented the letter of credit to get around the church's ban on charging interest. Technically, it wasn't a loan at all. If that kind of quiet financial ingenuity interests you, A-like tells others this is the kind of history worth keeping. Lorenzo the Magnificent, who took over in 1469, was perhaps the greatest patron in the history of art. He was also a mediocre banker who found the business side of things tedious. Under Lorenzo, the network began to fray. Branch managers, operating with increasing independence, made bad loans to European monarchs who had no intention of repaying them. The London branch extended enormous credit to Edward IV of England. Edward didn't pay it back. The Bruges branch collapsed. The Lyon branch struggled. Lorenzo responded by moving money from the bank into Florentine civic projects and his own cultural patronage. By the 1480s, the bank was effectively subsidizing the Renaissance out of capital it could not afford to lose. He died in 1492, leaving the bank and Florence to his son Piero, who lacked his father's political skill, his grandfather's financial caution, and it would turn out, the loyalty of Florence itself. In 1494, the French king Charles VIII invaded Italy. Piero de' Medici, facing an existential military threat, rode out to negotiate and handed over several Florentine fortresses without consulting the city's government, its guilds, or anyone else. Florence was furious. Piero was expelled. The Medici Palazzo was sacked. The bank's Florentine assets were confiscated. Branches that hadn't already failed closed. Within weeks, an institution that had run European finance for nearly a century ceased to exist. The Medici themselves survived. They returned to Florence eventually, produced 2 popes, and Catherine de' Medici became Queen of France. The family endured. The bank did not. Which is the more interesting failure? Lorenzo, who chose art over accounting and spent what he couldn't afford, or Piero, who lost Florence through a single afternoon of bad diplomacy? The case for each is stronger than it looks. The Medici Bank lasted almost exactly 100 years. In that time, it financed the physical fabric of the Renaissance, the dome of Florence's cathedral, the art that still hangs in the Uffizi, the scholars who dragged European thought out of the medieval period. All of that survives. The bank that paid for it was brought down by bad loans to ungrateful kings, a proprietor who cared more about art than accounting, and a French army that happened to be passing through. There is something almost appropriate about that. The greatest cultural investment in human history, funded by an institution that eventually confused culture with collateral. If the collapse of the Medici interests you, the video on screen now follows the same pattern. Another institution that ran the world's money, until it didn't.